everyone, welcome to Homestead Corner. This is Jenny, and today I thought we would talk a little bit about growing vegetables in containers. So there are quite a few vegetables that you can grow in containers, and I know a lot of people don't have land to grow on, but having containers, some of them you can grow in windowsills, some of them right on the porch, right around the porch, wherever you have available. Some people I know like condos, they just have a little patio, but you can still grow quite a bit of vegetables just on a little teeny patio in a bunch of different containers. And we have had really good success with a lot of different style containers, pretty much anything we could get our hands on. Sometimes the different pots and things like that cost a lot of money, but there are tons and tons of containers that you can get fairly cheap or free. Old plant pots, buckets, bags, things like that. There are lots of things you can grow in, and definitely think outside the box. That is your best bet. If you think it will hold soil and you can put some holes in it so it has good drainage, it'll probably make a good pot. So one of the things that we have grown in containers is onions. Onions grow quite well in containers. They don't need a lot of space, and the soil doesn't have to be real deep. 4 or 5 inches of soil is really enough for onions, and if you have a wide container, you can fit quite a bit in there. And onions they're pretty easy. You want to keep them, water them every day. If you're not getting rain, you don't want to overwater them. But when those green tops fall over, I usually let mine set for a week, but you can pull them as soon as they start falling down. It is up to you. And then we just lay them out so they're not touching each other to dry them. They are super easy. I love growing onions in the ground, in containers, any way that we can. The next thing that grows really, really good in containers is tomatoes. Tomatoes do great in 5-gallon buckets, things like that. Put up a couple of stakes to support it, and it's really simple and easy to grow. You want something big enough because tomatoes have a nice big root base, and you want them to be able to get their roots out really good so it will grow and you'll get lots of tomatoes off it. Peppers also do really, really well in containers. We try to use 3-gallon or bigger for peppers. That way they also need a good amount of space for roots. 10 to 12 inches deep. Also, you want something fairly deep. They do have a nice big root base, but as long as they have plenty of room for those roots, each plant produces a lot of peppers, which is wonderful. So, and those are bell peppers, sweet peppers, hot peppers, any kind, banana peppers, chili peppers, and peppers love the heat. So the more heat you can give them, the better they like. Lettuce is another one that really does wonderful in containers, and they don't need really huge containers. At 4 or 5 inches deep, really, they don't have a huge root base on them. You want nice, well-draining soil so it's not rotting under there or anything. Any of your plants, you want to make sure that the pot can drain and it's not going to sit in water. That's not good for it. But lettuce is a quick grower, and you can harvest it numerous times throughout the season. Keep planting it, and it will keep growing. And a lot of times if you cut them down, more will grow. Cut it down, more will grow. And so lettuce is one of those things, and it does great in containers in the ground any way that you can. Radishes also do really well in containers. You can do a small window box of them. You get any kind of container. It doesn't have to be real deep. 4 or 5 inches. Radishes do quite well, and they are super fast. You get your radishes in about 21 to 28 days, most varieties. So they grow really, really quick, and you can keep planting those over and over and over throughout the season as well. And the containers are great. Anything with that green foliage, sometimes the heat of the sun will get it all wilty and stuff. I love containers because you can move them around, get them in a shadier spot, and really put them where it works best for each plant. spinach is another really great item to grow in containers. They do need a partial sun. They don't handle the really hot sun in the afternoon that well. So, but spinach can also, you can bring it inside. You can grow it in the windowsill during the winter. Containers are awesome because, you know, you can have it on the porch. You can move it in the shade. You could do whatever with it. And spinach, you need about an 8-inch pot for each spinach plant because it really bushes right up in there. Peas and green beans are another really great container grower. They grow excellent in there. I like to add like a stick in the center. You could put 3 pea plants in a good sized pot, put a stick in the center, and they'll grow right up that stick, which is great. Pole beans also, they do well as long as they have something to grow up. And just a stick is enough. If you have a couple of pots in a row, you could put a stick in the 2 end ones and strings across. It doesn't have to be fancy or difficult. It will work, and as long as they have something to climb. And bush beans also do really, really well in containers. Carrots are another one that does great in a container, but it does have to be a pretty deep container. You want at least 12 inches of soil so your carrot has room to grow because it grows completely under the ground. But carrots do really, really well in there, and I think carrot containers are great. Tubs, things like that are perfect for growing carrots in. Cucumbers and squash are another one that grow really well in containers. They do vine out quite a bit. If you put them near the porch, they will grow up the railing. If you give them something to support them, a piece of we've leaned fence against the porch, and it just grows right up it. So there are a ton of different things that you could do, and they will, if you give them space to climb, they will climb up, which makes them a lot easier to harvest than digging all through the ground and the leaves trying to find everything. Chard is another one of those leafy vegetables that you can grow in a pot, and it can be brought inside as well. So you could grow it if you have a nice sunny window in the house, and it does super good in pots. I love containers because they really can be moved around quite a bit, especially the smaller containers are easy to move and get them to their sweet spot really as far as the sun goes and things like that. And lastly, potatoes. Potatoes do great in containers. We have done them in bags, we've done them in pots, we've done them in buckets. I have taken fence and made a circle and kind of layered compost and dirt and potatoes all through it. It grows right out the sides. There are tons of different ways that you can do potatoes in a really small space. If you use those like towers, just a piece of fence, you can make a tower. And a lot of times you can get fence for, you know, small piece of it for free, some cut off, something like that. It works really great. And the buckets and containers and things are wonderful. When you go to harvest your potatoes, you just dump them out on the ground and they are all there for you to pick, which makes it simple and easy. And that is it for my 10 container plants that I think grow really, really well in containers. And if you have had a lot of good luck with growing different plants in containers, please put them in the comments down below. It really helps people. Not everybody has garden space and land to grow food, and I totally understand that. I've lived in apartments myself. I know what it's like to only have a small area, and you know, you can definitely grow quite a lot of food just on a deck or a porch or something like that. If you've got your containers all lined up, you can really grow quite a bit, which is wonderful. And it will help you in these times where food is so stinking expensive and sometimes you just can't find what you want. But that is it for today. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.